everybody, I come here for everybody. I'm the champ, I'm the king. Ah!
In just a year, Khamzat Chimaev, from an unknown prospect, turned into one of the biggest stars in the world of martial arts and a frightening executioner with whom even seasoned warriors are afraid to fight. Khamzat talks a lot, but he does even more. And now, it is seriously rumored that Borz is the main threat to the current king of pound for pound, Kamaru Usman. Very soon Chimaev will face the most serious test of his career, in the person of the second number of the rating, Gilbert Burns. And it's this duel that will answer many questions related to the figure of the textured assassin from Sweden. But despite how this fight will turn out, Khamzat has already managed to surprise the whole planet. And now I suggest you remember 5 moments when Khamzat Chimaev shocked the world. Ivan Neumann, let's go! Let's start with the fact that Chimaev completed all his fights with the finish. However, the first really serious statement was the 5th fight in the professional career of Borz. It was Khamzat's fight with Ikram Aliskerov, who was undefeated at the time, as part of the welterweight division at the Brave CF tournament. Ikram is a pupil of Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov. At that time he was on a series of 8 victories, with no defeats, and was considered one of the most promising prospects, like Chimaev as well. The poster was good, and the fight promised to be interesting. Both fighters could show themselves in the fight and in the ring, because the fight could develop in any way. The fight started with the fact that the fighters began to evaluate each other. There were a couple of exchanges, and then Borz stuck a left straight into Aliskerov's bird and sent him to a knockdown. Although Ikram got his feet very quickly, and the fighters moved on to the fight. What there was a stalemate, and after a couple of minutes the fight returned to the stand, where Ikram tried to rehabilitate himself and began to exert serious pressure, and this was his fatal mistake.
Big head kick from Aliskerov, again another crushing leg kick put in by Khamzat.
When attacking Aliskerov, Khamzat managed to counterattack in time and turn off the light to his opponent with a murderous right uppercut. That's the way Borz really declared himself. And for Aliskerov, by the way, this defeat is still the only one in his career. After the fight with Aliskerov, Khamzat had another victorious duel, with submission in the first round in Brave, and the guy was noticed in the UFC, giving him the chance. Borz made his debut in the best league in the world in a duel against John Phillips, who was missing stars from the sky, whose record in Dana White's promotion at the time consisted of 1 victory and 3 defeats. The fight took place within the middleweight, because Khamzat learned about the fight in 10 days and didn't have time to make 170 pounds. And it would be difficult to imagine a better debut for Chimaev. Khamzat took a takedown in the first seconds of the fight and began to torment his opponent on the ground. It was obvious how hard this fight was given to Phillips. Chimaev beat and tried to strangle his opponent the whole round, but John lived to see the siren, which meant that there was at least 1 more round in the cage with this Chechen beast. Borz didn't put the matter on hold, almost immediately transferred Phillips to the flooring, where he finished everything very quickly.
To weigh in and only had a couple minutes to spare.
Dodge choke, wait for it!
That's it, Mike, he's got it.
Khamzat Chimaev by submission.
Chimaev closed the difficult rubber choke technique with apparent simplicity and forced his opponent to knock. In the wake of such a victory, Khamzat received the bonus of the best performance of the evening on short notice after the fight, but this was only the beginning. Khamzat's next fight didn't take long to wait, because Borz broke into the cage just 10 days after his debut. And in the weight up to 170 pounds, Chimaev's opponent was Rhys McKee, for whom the duel with the Swedish Chechen was the first in the organization. Before this sacrifice, no one believed in the success of McKee, and as it turned out, justifiably. After 15 seconds of the fight, Chimaev had already laid Rhys on the floor and, after condition, the easiest takedown. And then, the signature work of the Swedish tormentor began.
That might be it. Just when I say that.
There we go. It's another win for Khamzat Chimaev. He is a wrecking ball.
Chimaev punished his opponent for 3 minutes by prescribing plops for tea, and finally the referee's heart could not stand it and he stopped this beating, fixing another Yole victory for Borz. That evening Chimaev earned another bonus and made the whole world talk about himself. In just a week, Khamzat's Instagram number in the subscribers column changed from 15,000 to 1 million, and Borz entered the status of a serious figure in the world of MMA. After such a serious statement, people began to say that Chimaev needed to be checked by someone more serious. And then the strong middleweight Gerald Meerschaert turned up, who lived near the top 15 and seemed to be a strong opponent. Borz went to the fight with confidence. He was a big favorite with the bookmakers, and experts in the field of MMA gave him preference, but everyone assured that the fight with Gerald would not be an easy walk and would have to sweat. Well, what happened in fact? See for yourself.
Chimaev straight on the pressure like he always does.
Just like that! Khamzat Chimaev!
One blow was enough for Chimaev to turn off the electricity to his counterpart and shock the world once again. The best is yet to come. The next challenge for Khamzat was to be the third number of the rating, Leon Edwards. It was the real step on the way to a title chance for Chimaev. It seems that this hype train had picked up speed and no one was destined to derail it. However, the most powerful enemy of humanity intervened in 2020, the well-known virus. In early March 2021, Khamzat Chimaev published a post on his Instagram. He was ending his fighter's career due to health problems, having had a hard time with the virus. Khamzat resumed training to Yole. He began to gain shape 2 weeks after he stopped taking antibiotics. Khamzat used to do 4 workouts a day, and after his illness, he couldn't even stand one session. He started coughing up blood and got scared. That's what his brother Arthur said about the whole situation. But some time passed, Khamzat rested, fully recovered, started training and announced that he was resuming his career. The chance to fight with Edwards was missed. But a good option was prepared for Khamzat, who had flown out of the top 15 to return. He became the 11th number of the rating, Li Zinlan, who in his last fight brutally removed the once formidable top welterweight Santiago Ponzinibbio, despite the fact that Chimaev was after an illness and Li finished a formidable opponent in the last fight. Borz was a clear favorite for all, for bookmakers and for professional fighters. The fight began the same way as any other fight of Chimaev begins. Khamzat slipped into the legs of the Chinese as quickly as possible and then picked him up and dragged him majestically through the entire cage, talking to Dana White along the way.
Oh, nice job by Chimaev. Oh my goodness. He's talking to Dana. Oh my goodness.
After which he landed the poor guy on the canvas, where the well-known cruel game of Borz began. Khamzat ruthlessly smashed Zinlan for a few minutes and then began to look for a choke. It didn't work out on the first attempt, but then...
He doesn't got the right angle yet. Now he's got the right angle, Paul.
He's got to fight the head. He's got to sleep if he doesn't fight the hand, DC.
It's over. It's over, Paul. It's over.
That is it.
10-0! The hype is real! Khamzat Chimaev remarkably does it again!
Chimaev changed his hand and didn't release the Chinese. Lee didn't knock and fell asleep brutally, and Borz broke into the top 11 division, confirming his class and showing that he was ready for really serious tests. Khamzat Chimaev is a controversial figure and a real dark horse of the UFC, and soon we will find out whether Borz is really a fighter with championship ambitions or another hype train. If you liked the video and you would like to see similar videos more often, then be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. I am Ivan Neumann. See ya.